Welcome to Go Fact Yourself, the Top 10 Lists podcast. Today, we're kicking off a really fascinating top 10 journey. We're looking at history's most bizarre accidental war triggers.
Yeah, the material you shared, it's pretty mind-bending stuff. Some of these, you really have to hear them to believe they actually happened.
Exactly. It's a real roller coaster. Missteps, misunderstandings, huge oops moments that somehow, led to actual conflicts.
It really makes you look at history differently, doesn't it? Beyond the big treaties and politics.
Totally. We've got everything from livestock causing international crises to diplomatic disasters just from a single word.
Yeah.
So, buckle up. This top 10 journey is going to be pretty surprising.
It's amazing how often these almost absurd, very human moments, a mistake, frustration, can have these massive global consequences. We usually focus on the grand strategy, but sometimes
It's just weird. Okay, let's dive in. Number 10 on our top 10 journey, the pig that nearly caused, well, maybe not World War III, but a serious international incident.
Right, the pig war. Sounds ridiculous.
It does. But this was 1859, San Juan Island. And our top research shows this island was disputed territory, right, between British Canada and the U.S.
Exactly. A really volatile situation already. Joint occupation, both sides had interests, military presence nearby. It was kind of a tinderbox.
So this American farmer, lime in color, he shoots a pig. Why? Because it was owned by a British guy, an Irishman named Charles Griffin, and it kept eating his potatoes.
Potatoes. It sounds trivial, but in that specific context, on that island, even something small could just blow up.
And it almost did. Griffin was furious, obviously. British authorities threatened to arrest Cutler.
Which, brought the governments into it directly.
Yeah, and the U.S. response wasn't exactly subtle. They sent in 66 soldiers.
And Britain.
Britain sends warships.
Yeah.
Actual warships. All because a pig fancied some spuds.
It's a perfect example of how a local spat escalates when sovereignty and, frankly, national pride get involved. Neither side wants to look like they're backing down.
The bit that just gets me is how close they came to actual shooting. Imagine explaining that war back home. Yeah, we're fighting over Farmer Cutler's potato patch.
Thankfully, they didn't fire any shots. Cooler heads prevailed eventually.
Right. But the island stayed under joint occupation for another 12 years, just lingering awkwardness over a pig.
Well, it speaks to maybe a shared sense of the absurdity, perhaps, a desire to avoid war, even if they couldn't agree on who owned the island. A diplomatic stalemate caused by a farm animal.
Wild. Okay, moving on. Number 9 in our top 10 journey. This one's, well, it's darker. The drunk soldier who wandered into North Korea.
Ah, yes. 1976 and the Korean DMZ. As our top research confirms, it's arguably the most dangerous border on the planet.
Right. Still technically a war zone. So for a soldier reportedly drunk to just wander across, it's almost unbelievable. A huge security lapse.
A massive breach, and it had terrible consequences.
Yeah, it wasn't just the wandering. This led directly to the axe murder incident.
A truly brutal event. North Korean soldiers attacked and killed 2 U.S. officers.
We were just trimming a tree, right, in the joint security area, because it blocked their line of sight.
Yes, a routine task that turned deadly. It was a direct attack on U.S. personnel in that incredibly tense zone.
Understandably, the U.S. felt they had to respond decisively.
Absolutely. It wasn't just a border violation anymore. It was murder.
And the American response, well, it was something else. Operation Paul Bunyan.
Sounds harmless enough, but it wasn't.
Not at all. It was a massive military mobilization. Okay, they brought chainsaws, yes.
For the tree.
For the tree. But they also brought aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
B-52 bombers on standby. 12,000 troops.
Essentially a full military operation for landscaping. In the context of the Cold War, it was a show of force, projecting resolve, deterrence.
But still, an armada to cut down one tree.
Yeah.
It's darkly funny if you forget the tragedy that prompted it.
It does highlight the extreme tensions, doesn't it? And the maybe disproportionate nature of responses in that era. Did the response fit the initial provocation? It's debatable.
The key detail for me is just that sheer scale. Thousands of soldiers, carriers, for a tree. It's absurd.
But it also raises that question about balancing strength and escalation risk. A huge move like that, right on the border, always risky.
Definitely. Okay, number 8 on the top 10 journey. The diplomat who forgot to translate, or maybe mistranslated.
Ah, the power of words, or the lack thereof. In diplomacy, precision is everything, isn't it? Tiny errors can have huge consequences.
This was 1914, right on the brink of World War I. And the story goes, a French ambassador messed up translating a key German message about Belgium.
Belgium's neutrality was crucial at that point.
Exactly. So the Germans apparently said something like, "We are not planning to invade Belgium," but the translation came out wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe a misplaced subjunctive clause, our top research suggests.
It's linguistically complex, but the supposed outcome was
The
disastrous.
supposed outcome was the translation read, "We are absolutely planning to invade Belgium." Total opposite.
Now, historians debate the exact specifics of this incident, whether it happened quite like that. But the principle, incredibly important.
Right. In tense times, any ambiguity, any miscommunication gets amplified. People assume the worst.
The fog of war can start with just words, really, a failure to understand each other.
And the result here, France hears this, thinks Germany's already broken neutrality, and boom, they mobilize troops.
Before Germany had actually made that move.
Yeah. So this linguistic slip-up potentially played a role in kicking off World War I, a war that killed, what, 20 million people?
It's a chilling thought that a grammatical error, even if just one small factor among many, could contribute to that scale of suffering. It really hammers home the need for clarity in international relations. Meticulous detail.
No kidding. Okay, from grammar to games. Number 7 in our top 10 journey. The soccer game that started a war.
The Football War, 1969, El Salvador and Honduras. A classic case of a spark igniting existing fuel.
Yeah, it wasn't just about the soccer match, was it? A World Cup qualifier, sure,
Yeah.
but emotions were already sky high.
Absolutely. Our top research points to deep-seated issues simmering for years. Immigration conflicts, land disputes, lots of bad blood already there.
The soccer matches just became the flashpoint, a focus for all that national.
International sport often does that, doesn't it? National identity gets wrapped up in the team's performance. Winning feels like a national victory. Losing, well.
And when you add existing political grievances, it's explosive.
It really was. Riots broke out after the matches. Things got ugly fast.
Our top research mentioned a really grim detail. A Honduran fan allegedly burned down a Salvadoran immigrant's house after Honduras lost. Just pure retaliatory violence.
Shocking. And that kind of thing fuels a cycle of retribution, deepens the divides, sporting rivalry, weaponized, basically.
And it didn't stop there. It escalated. El Salvador actually invaded Honduras.
A full-blown military conflict. The war only lasted 4 days, but thousands died. Over 3,000 casualties.
All triggered essentially by a soccer game tapping into those pre-existing tensions.
Yeah.
It's a stark warning.
Absolutely. Unchecked nationalism, ignoring underlying social problems. It shows how dangerous that combination can be.
Okay, let's lighten the mood slightly, though the consequences were still serious. Number 6 on our top 10 journey involves a monkey. The monkey that sparked the Franco-Prussian War.
Yes, this one sounds like pure fiction, but it actually happened, contributing in its own bizarre way.
So the story goes, someone dressed a monkey in a French soldier's uniform hat and paraded it at a Prussian military event.
A prank, a very ill-advised prank.
Our top research names the prankster, Viscount Delacroix, a French nobleman apparently known for weird animal parties.
Yeah.
And he was drunk and trying to impress women. You couldn't write it.
A recipe for diplomatic disaster, apparently. But the prank itself wasn't the main issue. It was how it was used.
Exactly. The Prussian newspapers got hold of it. They published photos of the monkey in the hat.
As proof.
As proof of French mockery. Disrespecting the Prussian military. It became propaganda, basically.
Which, in the already strained climate between France and Prussia, just poured fuel on the fire. Media manipulation, even back then.
Tapping into existing prejudices, right. Using this ridiculous incident to whip up anger.
Precisely. The power of the press to shape opinion and inflame nationalism was already strong.
Now, we should be clear. Our top research confirms the Ems dispatch was the main political trigger for the Franco-Prussian War.
Yes, the diplomatic maneuvering around the Spanish succession.
But this monkey business, it definitely added a layer of pure absurdity and just worsened the atmosphere. A weird, weird footnote.
It really shows how even trivial things can be twisted and amplified by media to serve political ends, making conflict more likely.
Okay, top 5 time on our top 10 journey. Number 5, the colonel who declared war on the sky.
This one speaks volumes about paranoia and misperception, doesn't it? Seeing threats where there are none.
So 1982, a Peruvian military colonel, described as paranoid, sees something in the sky. Thinks it's Chilean attack aircraft.
Chile and Peru had, let's say, a tense relationship at the time.
Understatement. But what were they really?
UN weather balloons, just scientific instruments.
Right, part of a program called WMO Pacific Jet. Our top research says, studying jet streams, completely harmless.
But the colonel didn't see harmless balloons. He saw enemy planes. Deep mistrust can really warp perception.
And what does he do? He orders his troops to open fire. Anti-aircraft guns at weather balloons.
Imagine the scene. Apparently, locals described it poetically, if inaccurately.
Yeah, like the sky was bleeding plastic angels, which is quite the image, but, wrong.
And this wasn't just a few stray shots. It had real consequences.
It did. Armed border clashes broke out between Peru and Chile because of this.
Yeah.
2 villages had to be evacuated.
And the ultimate absurdity.
A goat died. A poor goat caught in the crossfire between a paranoid colonel and some science experiments.
It seems almost comical, but again, real violence, real disruptions stem from this absurd mistake.
It really highlights the need for clear communication, verification, not just shooting at things you don't understand, especially near a tense border.
Impulse control is pretty key in the military, one would hope.
You'd think.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, on the top 10 journey, the guy who invaded Canada by accident. Pure geographical confusion.
Oh, this is a classic blunder from the War of 1812, a spectacular navigational failure.
U.S. General William Hull, bless him, he leads 800 troops across the border into British Canada.
Thinking
He's still in upstate New York. Our top research says he just completely misread the map.
800 soldiers, that's not a small mistake. To cross an international border without realizing it beggars belief. Lack of reconnaissance, perhaps?
Or just really, really bad map reading. Apparently, his scouts mixed up the Lake Erie coastline with the Niagara River. Oops.
A significant oops.
So he marches in, builds a fort, claims the land for New York.
On Canadian soil.
Until actual British troops show up, probably looking very confused, wondering what on earth is going on.
It must have been a surreal moment for everyone involved. Excuse me, you seem to be building a fort in our country.
The outcome? Predictable, really. Hull's forces were defeated, and he got court-martialed for his accidental invasion.
The only U.S. general ever court-martialed for accidentally invading another country, I believe.
Quite the distinction. It just proves human error can happen at the highest levels, with pretty big consequences. Geography matters.
Especially when you're leading an army. Fundamental skills are fundamental for a reason.
Right. Okay, top 3. Number 3 on our top 10 journey. The goat sacrifice that got way out of hand.
This takes us to northern India, 1784, a fascinating look at how deep cultural beliefs and rituals can influence events, sometimes violently.
So a tribal chieftain is sacrificing a goat. It's meant to bless a trade treaty between 2 tribes, the Bill and the Meena, according to our top research.
A common practice, using ritual to solidify agreements. But the details mattered intensely.
Oh, they mattered hugely. The direction the goat faced when it died was critical. East meant good omen, success for the treaty.
And west.
West meant bad news, a threat, a curse, basically.
So the ritual wasn't just symbolic, it was seen as predictive. A powerful sign.
Well, guess which way the goat faced?
Oh dear. West.
West. Apparently, there was a sudden rainstorm, the ground got slippery, the goat slipped. Just an accident.
But it wasn't seen as an accident.
Not at all. The rival tribe saw it as a deliberate curse, a sign the treaty was doomed, or worse, a hostile act.
And existing suspicions likely fueled that interpretation. Misinterpreting the omen led to immediate conflict.
Immediate and brutal. A 7-day war broke out between the tribes. Over 600 people died.
600 casualties over the direction a goat fell.
Yep. And the poor ritual specialist who oversaw the sacrifice, he was stoned to death for failing to ensure the correct outcome. The treaty was torn up.
It's a truly stark reminder of how powerful symbolic acts and cultural interpretations can be, and how misunderstandings can spiral into devastating violence, especially when trust is already low.
Unbelievable. Okay, final 2 on our top 10 journey. Number 2 is, well, it's pungent. The spy who farted, literally.
This might be the single most bizarre trigger on the list. Our top research confirms it, though it sounds like something from a spy spoof movie.
Right. 1992, Dubrovnik. A Croatian political meeting is happening. A Serbian agent decides to disrupt it.
With extreme prejudice.
With extreme odorator. He deploys a homemade stink bomb.
Okay.
But get the ingredients. Our top research says it was sulfur compounds mixed with pig feces.
Pig feces, okay. That's dedication to the cause of disruption, I suppose. An attempt to sow chaos through sheer stench.
Exactly. But the plan backfired spectacularly. The device went off prematurely.
Inside the meeting.
Yes. causing immediate total panic. People thought it was a chemical weapon attack.
Understandable given the smell and the political climate in the former Yugoslavia at the time. Fear and misinterpretation would be rampant.
There was apparently chaos. Reports of delegates trying to jump out of windows yelling, "gas attack."
Wow. So what happened next?
The aftermath was actually pretty serious, considering the cause. 2 days of riots in Dubrovnik. Croatia declared a national emergency.
A national emergency. Over a stink bomb.
Yep. NATO even started monitoring the situation because of the chemical warfare fears.
That is genuinely incredible.
And the agent, he got stuck with the nickname Phantom Smrda.
Which means?
Phantom of the Stink.
Fitting. It's just surreal. A poorly executed, frankly disgusting prank leads to riots and international concern. Shows how fragile things were.
And how easily fear spreads, even from something fundamentally absurd.
Indeed. Which brings us to number 1.
And number 1 on our top 10 journey of accidental war triggers. The time Cleopatra's sisters started a civil war with a tantrum.
Back to ancient Egypt. Royal ambition, sibling rivalry, and a teenage outburst with massive consequences.
Arsinoe IV, Cleopatra's younger sister, only 15 years old, and she was not happy about not being queen.
Sibling rivalry is one thing, but this went a bit further.
A lot further. She basically threw an epic tantrum, fled the palace, somehow raised an army.
Raised an army at 15.
Yes, and then used that army to lay siege to Alexandria, trapping Cleopatra and her rather famous ally, Julius Caesar, inside.
That's audacious. Challenging Cleopatra and Caesar because she felt hard done by. It speaks to the instability of power back then.
She even declared herself pharaoh and got Egyptian troops to follow her. She actually had Caesar cornered.
He had to escape how?
Our top research says he had to swim across the harbor to get away. This teenage rebellion turned into the Siege of Alexandria, a major conflict.
It shows she must have had some genuine support. Factions opposed to Cleopatra and Caesar's alliance. It wasn't just a tantrum, it was a real power play, albeit started perhaps childishly.
Caesar eventually won, crushed the rebellion. He spared Arsinoe's life initially.
But this is ancient power politics after all.
But years later, Cleopatra, probably still seeing her as a threat, had her assassinated. Her own sister.
This brutal end. Ambition, betrayal. The classics. But to think a teenage power grab ignited a civil war involving Caesar himself? History is truly wild.
Absolutely. Well, that's our list. A truly mind-blowing top 10 journey through accidental war triggers. Pigs, soccer, monkeys, tantrums.
Who knew history could be shaped by such bizarre, unintended events? It certainly gives you those go-fact-yourself moments, doesn't it?
Definitely. A new appreciation for just chaos, really, how unpredictable things can be.
It does make you think about those small moments, the tiny pebbles that start an avalanche. What stood out most to you?
For me, it's the mix. The almost comical pettiness of the pig or the monkey contrasted with the genuinely terrifying potential of a misheard word or a drunken mistake leading to real death. That balance is stark.
Yeah, and the role of human error, miscommunication, just sheer bad luck sometimes. It's not always grand strategy. Sometimes it's just stuff happening, ridiculous stuff.
We definitely encourage everyone listening to dig deeper into these stories. Look up the people, the context. It's fascinating. And maybe think about today, what small things now could have big unforeseen consequences later.
History is often stranger than fiction, as this top 10 journey has definitely shown.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought to chew on. In our world now, so connected, instant communication, high tensions, are we more likely or less likely to accidentally stumble into conflict? A misinterpreted tweet, maybe. A viral misunderstanding.
That's a really provocative question. With information and misinformation spreading so fast, are the potential triggers smaller but more numerous? Something to mull over.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this incredible top 10 journey. Share, rate, follow, and go fact yourself.